The mind has a habit of turning almost everything into meaning. Every experience becomes something to interpret. Every emotion becomes something to analyze. Every challenge becomes something to explain. Every delay becomes something to evaluate. Every success becomes something to measure. Every uncertainty becomes something to resolve. Meaning can be useful. Meaning helps us learn. Meaning helps us communicate. Meaning helps us organize experience. Meaning helps us understand patterns. But the constant search for meaning can quietly become heavy. Because when everything must mean something, nothing is allowed to simply be. A quiet day becomes something to question. A neutral feeling becomes something to interpret. A pause becomes something to fix. A moment without inspiration becomes something to worry about. If today feels ordinary, is something wrong? If motivation is not strong, is something missing? If emotion is not intense, is something blocked? If clarity is not obvious, is something off track? The mind begins to monitor experience constantly, trying to determine what each moment means about the larger picture, what each feeling means about progress, what each result means about direction, what each phase means about the future. But not every moment carries a message. Not every feeling carries insight. Not every situation carries symbolic meaning. Some moments are simply neutral. Some days are simply steady. Some periods are simply quiet. Life includes variation. High energy moments, low energy moments, clear periods, unclear periods, inspired phases, ordinary phases. These variations do not always need interpretation. Sometimes they are simply part of living. The constant search for meaning can create pressure. Pressure to extract insight. Pressure to identify lessons. Pressure to define purpose. Pressure to ensure progress. Pressure to confirm direction. As if each moment must contribute to a larger narrative. But life does not always unfold as a continuous story. Sometimes experience is simple. Sometimes experience is practical. Sometimes experience is neutral. Sometimes experience is uneventful. And uneventful does not mean unimportant. Ordinary moments often make up most of life. Waiting for life to feel meaningful at all times often creates dissatisfaction. Because intensity is not constant. Clarity is not constant. Emotion is not constant. Meaning is not always obvious. Sometimes life is simply lived. Without commentary. Without symbolism. Without conclusion. When the mind insists that everything must mean something, pressure increases. Moments are evaluated constantly. Am I learning enough? Am I growing enough? Am I moving forward? Is this the right direction? Is this meaningful? Is this worthwhile? Is this part of the plan? Is this aligned? These questions can create tension even when nothing is wrong, because the mind is trying to extract clarity from moments that may simply be neutral. Neutral does not mean negative. Neutral simply means unremarkable. And much of life is unremarkable. Daily routines, ordinary conversations, simple tasks, common experiences. These moments may not feel significant, but they still contribute to living, to stability, to continuity, to participation. Many people feel pressure to feel inspired constantly, to feel purposeful constantly, to feel motivated constantly. But motivation fluctuates, clarity fluctuates, energy fluctuates, interest fluctuates. This variation does not necessarily indicate a problem. It often reflects natural rhythms, periods of activity, periods of consolidation, periods of reflection, periods of movement, periods of quiet. When quiet periods are interpreted as lack of meaning, unnecessary concern appears. But quiet often allows integration, allows understanding to settle, allows experience to digest. Growth often includes phases that do not feel dramatic, phases where changes occur gradually, subtly, quietly, without immediate recognition. Meaning often becomes visible over time. Looking back, connections appear, patterns appear, understanding appears. But in the moment, experience may feel simple, ordinary, undefined. Not every moment needs to feel profound. Profound moments often stand out because they are not constant. If every moment felt profound, profound would become ordinary. Contrast creates perception. Intensity becomes visible against calm. Clarity becomes visible against uncertainty. Insight becomes visible against neutrality. Neutral moments provide space. Space for recovery. Space for integration. Space for continuity. Space for stability. Life is not a constant peak. It includes many valleys. many plateaus, many steady paths. The mind often believes life should feel meaningful at all times. But meaning often develops through participation over time, not always through immediate interpretation. Trying to interpret everything can create mental fatigue. Constant evaluation consumes energy that could support participation, observation, presence, engagement. You can live without constantly analyzing what each moment means. You can experience without immediately interpreting. You can feel without immediately explaining. You can act without immediately evaluating. Some experiences become clearer later. Some feelings resolve naturally. Some questions dissolve without requiring answers. Not everything must be solved mentally. Some understanding develops gradually, through living, through time, through interaction with reality. When the mind relaxes its need to interpret everything, psychological space increases. Moments feel more open, less pressured, less forced. Experience becomes more direct, less filtered through constant evaluation. This does not mean meaning disappears. Meaning still appears naturally, sometimes unexpectedly, sometimes gradually, sometimes clearly, sometimes subtly. But meaning does not need to be forced. Forced meaning often feels artificial, constructed, unstable. Natural meaning often feels simple, clear, recognizable, without requiring constant reinforcement. Some days are simply days. Some moments are simply moments. Some experiences are simply experiences. Not everything must contribute to identity. Not everything must contribute to purpose. Not everything must contribute to progress. Participation itself often includes ordinary moments. Ordinary moments allow life to continue, allow relationships to continue, allow stability to continue, allow development to continue. Growth often includes repetition, consistency, practice, maintenance. These processes may not feel dramatic, but they contribute to long-term development. Trying to extract meaning from every repetition often creates frustration, because repetition is often neutral. Washing dishes may not feel meaningful. Answering emails may not feel meaningful. Driving to work may not feel meaningful. But these activities support continuity, support functionality, support participation. Meaning often emerges through patterns of participation, rather than through isolated moments. Life often becomes meaningful through connection, through relationships, through contribution, through development, through involvement, not necessarily through constant intensity. When the mind stops demanding meaning from every moment, pressure decreases, attention relaxes, participation becomes easier, experience becomes more open. Moments can be lived without needing to justify their existence. You do not need every day to feel significant. You do not need every action to feel purposeful. You do not need every experience to feel profound. Some moments are simply part of the structure of living. Neutral moments often support meaningful moments. Rest supports activity. Quiet supports insight. Ordinary supports extraordinary. Simple supports complex. When everything must feel meaningful, even meaningful things can begin to feel pressured. Because the mind expects constant intensity, constant clarity, constant inspiration. But intensity often comes and goes. Clarity often comes and goes. Inspiration often comes and goes. This variation is part of life, part of creativity, part of learning, part of growth. When neutral moments are allowed, the system can reset, recharge, rebalance. Integration often happens quietly, without immediate recognition. Not everything meaningful feels intense. Some meaning feels calm, steady, subtle, quiet, sustainable. Meaning can exist without drama, without intensity, without constant interpretation. You can allow some moments to remain undefined. Allow some experiences to remain open. Allow some feelings to exist without immediate explanation. Understanding often deepens when not forced. Insight often appears when space exists. Clarity often emerges when pressure decreases. Not everything needs to be interpreted immediately. Some things become clearer later. Some things resolve naturally. Some things become irrelevant. Some questions dissolve over time. Life often includes unfinished understanding, open questions, evolving perspectives, uncertain directions. These do not necessarily indicate problems. They often indicate ongoing development. Not everything must be completed immediately. Not everything must be understood immediately. Not everything must mean something immediately. You can live with openness, with curiosity, with willingness to see what unfolds. Participation continues. Learning continues. Growth continues. Even when meaning is not always obvious. When psychological weight decreases, experience often feels lighter. Because the mind is not constantly searching for significance. Moments are allowed to exist, without needing to justify themselves, without needing to prove something, without needing to confirm direction. You may still care about your life, still care about growth, still care about direction, still care about contribution. But not every moment needs to reflect these things. Some moments are simply steps. Steps within living. Steps within participation. Steps within unfolding. Meaning often develops through patterns of living, through ongoing interaction with reality, through continued participation. Not every moment needs to feel meaningful in order for life to have meaning. Life often becomes meaningful through connection, through involvement, through contribution, through learning, through shared experience. These processes include many ordinary moments. Ordinary moments do not need interpretation. They simply need participation. As psychological weight continues to soften, the need to constantly interpret experience often decreases. Moments feel more open, more breathable, more workable, because they are not constantly being evaluated. You can live without needing to explain everything, without needing to interpret everything, without needing everything to feel significant. Participation continues. Understanding develops. Meaning appears where it naturally appears, without needing to force it. And often, this makes meaning feel more genuine, more stable, more real, because it emerges naturally, rather than being constructed under pressure. Not everything needs to mean something. Life can still be fully lived, fully experienced, fully participated in. Even when some moments remain simple, undefined, ordinary, and often, that is more than enough. If this episode helped you see that movement can happen without constant inner resistance, consider subscribing to the channel. This space explores how life can continue unfolding when the mind is no longer pushing against every step, every decision, or every moment that doesn't feel perfectly clear. If this conversation resonated with you, liking the video helps more people discover that progress does not have to come from pressure or internal struggle. You can also share this with someone who may feel stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure how to move forward, and could benefit from seeing that even small movement can begin to reduce the friction they've been carrying. There are more episodes in this season that continue exploring how participation in life can feel more natural when the mind is no longer resisting what is already here. Movement can remain. Learning can remain. Direction can continue to unfold, but the inner resistance does not have to remain. I'll see you in the next episode.